Caitlin Clark continues to stay busy with various endorsements and promotional activities. Her current break from basketball appears just as hectic as previous periods, if not busier, which is surprising given how packed her schedule has already been. While training and recovery remain priorities, there's growing discussion about the importance of adequate rest. During her previous season, Clark maintained an intense work ethic, possibly to a fault. Rest and recuperation were perhaps undervalued, something that could be addressed during this extended break period. The 8-month off-season in professional basketball differs significantly from college schedules. Figures out and is able to get on top of this summer. And look, I think again, like these 8-month off-seasons, and I've stood by, I've said this, you can underestimate 8-month off-season. You can underestimate rest. You can underestimate things because it's very different than going from the college season where it's like, first of all, the games are at a lower level. You can coast, especially for a team like Iowa. You can coast at a conference play. You can coast. In collegiate competition, games are less demanding, and players on dominant teams can ease into form during easier matchups. The professional level offers no such luxury. Teams like the Liberty, with players such as Natasha Cloud and defenders like Bree Howard, apply relentless pressure from opening tip-off. There's no gradual build-up compared to college, where athletes get several months off followed by a gentler start. In the pros, it's 8 months away, then immediate full intensity. Clark's latest commercial features Dick's Sporting Goods, showcasing what appears to be a recreation of a court from her early basketball days at a conference play. You can coast. You can play your way into shape, and it's like there's no playing your way into shape when you're facing Ryan Howard full court pressing you in game 2 and 3. That's just not a thing. You're playing the full Liberty with Natasha Cloud full court pressing you. That's not really something that you can kind of prep for in college. Whereas college you get like 3 or 4 months off and you can coast for a while. Versus in the pros, you get 8 months off and then you're flat out in. And this particular setting has been used for numerous promotional shoots already. The off-season remains significant for Clark despite the packed promotional calendar. Reports suggest she's actively engaged in rehabilitation work, frequently appearing in the background of Indiana Fever-related activities. The hope is that both Clark and the franchise can develop a plan that properly prepares her for the upcoming season while maintaining her health. The financial opportunities during this period are substantial and important to capitalize on. Athletic careers are brief, and while Clark has earned considerable income, it's crucial to maximize earnings while possible. Even significant wealth can diminish over time without proper management. There's ongoing debate about off-season training approaches. Some suggest more gym time is needed, but evidence from the previous season indicates Clark may have overtrained. Stories emerged of her bringing personal trainers to New York during promotional appearances to squeeze in workout sessions. Taking occasional rest days is perfectly acceptable and perhaps necessary for long-term career sustainability. The key consideration is maintaining longevity in professional sports. Success involves balancing both athletic performance and financial opportunity throughout an entire career, not just immediate results. Clark has likely already surpassed what she imagined possible during her younger years, particularly when major programs like UConn didn't recruit her and Team USA opportunities seemed distant. The reality of her current achievements may exceed even her most ambitious dreams. Looking forward, there's anticipation for her return to competition. Watching Clark represent Team USA will be particularly noteworthy, as it will mark the first 5-on-5 competitive basketball she's played in approximately a year. A fully healthy Caitlin Clark hasn't been seen since September 2024, which is 14 months ago. It seems to be a lot of everything. And I'd say she is absolutely attacking rehab. You can tell by the fact that she's just there in the background of all the fever. Anything to do with the fever. So yeah, I'm hoping that the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark are able to figure something out. That version of Clark was posting triple doubles with 24 to 27 points against teams like the Sparks, dropping 25 points with 9 assists in a playoff game against Connecticut, and controlling first-half offense almost single-handedly. Hopefully, alongside the various promotional commitments, there will be opportunities to see Clark return to basketball activity soon. The balance between off-court obligations and on-court preparation remains a central consideration for her upcoming season. Recent developments in the WNBA coaching carousel reveal interesting decisions and strategic positioning ahead of a crucial free agency period. Sandy Brondello's selection of the Toronto Tempo as her next destination, despite receiving multiple offers, highlights the complexity of coaching decisions in professional basketball. Following her surprising separation from the New York Liberty in September, Brondello accepted the head coaching position with Toronto's expansion franchise roughly 1 month later. Guess her going into the next season. I hope as she continues to make a boatload of money, because that is pretty important. That is pretty important as well, making as much money as you can in add to this, because your career's short. And look, I don't think when it comes to Caitlin Clark, I don't think she's even as short as her career is going to be. I don't think she's made enough money. What many don't know is that she declined proposals from 2 other organizations to take this role. According to front office sports reporting, both the Dallas Wings and Seattle Storm presented Brondello with offers, including one that exceeded Toronto's financial package in terms of compensation. However, money wasn't the determining factor in her choice. During her introduction with Toronto media, Brondello explained her rationale for selecting the expansion team. Building a roster from scratch appealed to her competitive nature, or as her career is going to be. I don't think she's made the money that she realistically doesn't have to do a single thing. She doesn't have to lift a finger for the rest of her life, and she will live in luxury. And her kids will live in luxury. And that is something, but what do you guys think about the off-season? Because this is always just one of those weird things. Beyond that, the chemistry she felt with the organization's leadership proved decisive. Her connection with general manager Monica Wright-Rogers, both professionally and personally, created a sense of partnership that felt appropriate for this next chapter. The alignment between her vision and the front office's approach made Toronto the obvious selection. The 2 organizations that missed out on Brondello quickly pivoted to other candidates. Dallas brought in Jose Fernandez, who built his reputation coaching the women's program at USF. Immediately after Toronto's announcement, this hire came after the Wings dismissed Chris Claines following just a single season. Seattle made their move by hiring Sonia Raymond after parting ways with Noel Quinn in September. Questions remain about whether certain organizations made the right coaching decisions. Some observers believe Indiana should have pursued Brondello more aggressively, particularly given her public comments about Caitlin Clark, the league's most marketable asset. Instead, the Fever opted for Stephanie White. Brondello's perspective on Clark and her understanding of building around elite talent might have made her an ideal candidate for Indiana's situation. Looking ahead to the upcoming free agency period, Indiana appears positioned favorably despite broader uncertainty around the league. The expiration of the current collective bargaining agreement means nearly every veteran player will hit the market this winter. Only 2 players in the entire league, Phoenix's Kahani Brown and Seattle's Lexi Brown, won't become free agents. This unprecedented situation means rosters throughout the WNBA could undergo dramatic transformations. Difficulty in predicting outcomes stems from the sheer volume of available players. With most of the league's talent pool unrestricted, conventional wisdom about team building goes out the window. However, Indiana possesses a significant structural advantage that could prove decisive. The Fever control 3 players through rookie contracts: Michaela Timpson, Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston. Clark and Boston arguably rank among the league's top 10 talents already. This trio provides Indiana with a foundation that no other team can match. Dallas has Paige Beckers on a rookie deal, but beyond that, no franchise possesses comparable young talent under team control. Having Clark and Boston secured for 2026 regardless of free agency outcomes gives Indiana flexibility and certainty. The opportunity to play alongside Clark specifically should attract veteran talent. Playing for the league's most popular franchise brings exposure and commercial opportunities that extend beyond basketball. The Fever have essentially become the WNBA's version of a marquee franchise, drawing attention wherever they compete. However, questions exist about whether all players view Indianapolis as an attractive destination. Recent reactions from certain fan segments toward players like Sophie Cunningham might give some veterans pause. While the benefits of joining Clark's team seem obvious: increased visibility, winning potential, and financial opportunities, player recruitment isn't guaranteed. Cunningham herself has made statements suggesting uncertainty about her return, though such comments often serve as negotiation tactics in professional sports. Public declarations of doubt can pressure organizations to improve contract offers and demonstrate commitment. This strategy appears frequently in other leagues but remains relatively uncommon in the WNBA, where many fans lack exposure to such dynamics. Kelsey Mitchell presents another complicated situation. Speculation suggests she might prefer a situation where she serves as the primary offensive option. Despite the logic of keeping the core intact, Mitchell, Clark, Boston, Cunningham, and others, individual ambitions sometimes conflict with team-building philosophy. Every professional athlete possesses ego and self-belief, which occasionally leads them away from objectively advantageous situations. The upcoming months will determine whether Indiana capitalizes on its structural advantages or whether unforeseen complications disrupt their planning. The roster will certainly look different than it does currently. Whether those changes strengthen or weaken the Fever remains an open question. Free agency in this environment carries more unpredictability than usual, and even teams with built-in advantages like Indiana must navigate carefully. The broader WNBA landscape faces transformation. Teams that have relied on veteran continuity will need to rebuild relationships and chemistry. Organizations with limited young talent under control face particularly difficult decisions. Indianapolis enters this period with concrete assets and a clear identity, but execution still matters. How management leverages its position and which veterans choose to join Clark and Boston will define the franchise's trajectory for years to come.